There's nothing to say. Nothing to say. We're just reviewing a sci-fi classic beloved by readers young and old. And nothing else. Just a landmaker, a game changer. Just a book and nothing else. Just the book and nothing else to talk about. Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, my name is David Popovich, aka the Bookworm, and welcome to Bookworm Reviews. Sit back and relax as we dive into Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. There's nothing to talk about! So in the far-off future, Earth has been invaded twice by what we know as the Buggers. We survived both invasions, but barely. If the Buggers invade again, there is no stopping them, unless we can find a commander who has to be the very best, like no one ever was. Enter 6-year-old Ender Wiggins, who was hoping to be selected in the IF, International Fleet, because of his brilliance, but fails. Now he is the worst thing you could be, a third, because the US has population laws like China. It was not his fault he was a third, it was the government's idea. They were the ones who authorized it. Since Ender is no longer special, it opens himself up to bullying from his schoolmates, apathy from his parents, and his brother. I could kill you like this, Peter whispered. Just press and press until you're dead. And I could say that I didn't know it would hurt you, that we were just playing, and they'd believe me, and everything will be fine. Is Hannibal Lecter. So Ender's life is over until he gets a visit from Colonel Hiram Graff. I'm director of primary training at Battle School in the Belt. I've come to invite you to enter the school. It turns out that Ender passed their final exam and how he deals in situations without anyone backing him up. In particular, why he beat up a bully in school that put him in the hospital. So now they want to send Ender off to Battle School for the chance to become a great commander. However, it won't be easy. Battle School is not for the weak. He'll be tested to his very limits, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Ender doesn't want to go because Ender didn't like fighting. He didn't like Peter's kind, the strong against the weak, and he didn't like his own kind either, the smart against the stupid. But if Ender doesn't, as Graff explains, your whole future and the future of the human race depends on how well you learn, how well you fight. It's a hard life, and you won't have a normal childhood. But what choice does Ender have? It's what I was born for, isn't it? If I don't go, why am I alive? So Ender agrees to go to Battle School, where he'll make enemies because of how brilliant he is, make friends to those he can, train in the no-gravity battleground games, all to hopefully save the human race from the third Bugger invasion. But it looks like there are plans already being made for Ender that even he doesn't know about. Ones that could change him forever. Sometimes I think you enjoy breaking these little geniuses. There is an art to it, and I'm very, very good at it. You're a monster. Thanks. Does this mean I get a raise? Worst teachers ever! And that's Ender's Game. And it's good. Really good. It's actually pretty damn brilliant. Yeah! Everything's hunky-dory! Starting out as a short story in the famous sci-fi magazine Analog in 1977, Orson Scott expanded it into a novel in 1985, where it won both the Nebula and Hugo Award, the two highest honors for science fiction, not to mention considered one of the best sci-fi novels both of its time and all time. It's not hard to see why. The novel in many ways plays with the whole special one concept that is so dominant in young adult literature today, but it doesn't fall into the same traps. Ender is a genius, and he knows it. He uses it to help get by in battle school when he gets isolated from everyone, slowly winning them over Game of Thrones style. And it is clear that he is the one that can stop the buggers' invasion. But they don't worship him like you would find in YA today. Instead, the teachers manipulate him to do what they want him to do so he can develop as they want him to develop, as a killer. Which takes its toll on Ender, as one of his biggest fears is they want him to be like Peter. And seeing how some of his actions would be just like Peter, I am Peter, I'm just like him. And Ender hated himself. And really, the buggers aren't the real enemy. Hell, they are barely brought up in the book at all, only to remind Ender of why he is here and to justify the teachers for what they are doing to the kids. Does it ever seem to you that these boys aren't children? I look at what they do, the way they talk, and they don't seem like little kids. One of the most interesting things about the book is that it's actually required reading for several branches of military, because it captures what military training can do, and what the military mindset is like, how their moral code can be compromised for the greater good. The greater good. As well as how isolated they are from the civilian world. One of the subplots happens back on Earth, where Peter and Sister Valentine plot to take over the world because with the bugger war near its end, old world rivalries are rising, which could lead to another world war. And they plan to do that by, get this, blogging. No, really, they adapt internet personas so they can write articles to get people to talk and play for their interests. No, really, two kids plan to take over the world by basically being Bill O'Reilly and Rachel Maddow. It sounds like it has barely anything to do with the novel, and it really doesn't. At least, not till the end. It looks more like a setup for the sequel, but it does show how isolated Ender is to the rest of the world. Okay, I think it's time we address the elephant in the room. This is an African elephant, commonly found in Africa, of course, and you know I'm just stalling now, aren't you? Let's cut to the chase. Orson Scott Card is a bigot, mainly towards homosexuals and same-sex marriage. Joke's on him. He's basically the Frank Miller of books. You can find many articles where he defends his stance, which makes it really hard for me to read his books. Cause, hello, homosexual here. Here we have what is a landmark book, predicting many things we do today, from the internet, blogging, and video games, with a story that is an examination about war, morale, childhood, good and evil, and the justification of what they do is right or wrong. So why did it have to be written by such a farthead? It doesn't make sense! People do strange things for religion. Monkey see, monkey do. This is one of the biggest examples of what to do with the text and the author. I don't know. The book has had its own share of controversy, both in terms of its subject matter, but also because people have compared Ender's story to Hitler. Don't ask me why, we don't have the time to focus on that. Honestly, I think they're looking at it the wrong way. As I read the book, I saw Ender as just being another pawn for the grown-ups to control. Any, if not all of Ender's actions were manipulated by the adults, but that ties back in with what is right in the name for the greater good over the life of a single little boy. But it's a story that can draw a lot of interpretations, especially when the full truth is revealed to Ender and it really makes you think. As Orson says, the story itself, the true story, is the one that the audience members create in their minds, guided and shaped by my text, but then transformed, uculated, expanded, edited, and clarified by their own experience, their own desires, their own hopes, and fears. Damn it, Orson! How is it that we agree on the same philosophy and yet you are such a fart bag? It doesn't make sense! In the end, Ender is a damn good book. I can't lie. If you love sci-fi, then it is required reading. The only real drawback is that while most of the book is paced out well, the last chapter rushes like crazy as Orson tries to wrap everything up for the sequel. So, yeah, Ender's Game is a really good book. I just wish it wasn't by a farthead. What about you, Internet? What's your opinion about Ender's Game? If you have a book you would like me to review, let me know in the comments below. Please let next week's book be something less controversial. next time, have a nice day.